anything, like, say, grow a beard. I bet you can. At Sweet Pepper's Deli, you get quality food in under 6 minutes. Now, how about that? Sweet Pepper's Deli. Life is sweet.
Join the Chickasaw and Kana Foundation for the 5th annual Piamico Day wreath laying ceremony at Fair Park in downtown Tupelo on October 13th. Starting at 10 a.m., enjoy demonstrations of Chickasaw history and culture, followed by the wreath laying ceremony at noon.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. I'll explain the polo here in a minute, but hopefully you have found a way to get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather today. The stickiness that was just very noticeable yesterday. Again, not maybe midsummer-like stickiness, but definitely there. Somewhat removed, and we have a beautiful evening on the way. One of the things, of course, we're talking about here in the Room to Room Weather Center is that transition toward a more fall-like forecast, and certainly Mother Nature has already tipped her hand. That's where we are headed. So everyone cheer, fall is here. And yes, fall has been here technically for a few more weeks. That's a meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, push over there a minute ago, but he kind of nails it. Hasn't felt like it the last few days. It finally will. Has a little bit today, more so the next couple days, especially those morning temperatures. Grab the long sleeves for your mornings, or at least for the few moments to begin the day. Jacket probably necessary because we warm up enough in the afternoon, but if your kids are standing out there at the bus stop for a little while, they'll probably want something to keep them a little bit warmer. We're looking what to expect as well for this football weekend. As of course we have both our SEC football forecast brought to you by the good folks down there at Carl Hogan Toyota, and then our Mississippi Live Game of the Week forecast. Looking ahead, again, appreciate Casey Lott for sponsoring us here on Mississippi Live Weather as far as that is concerned. Hour by hour forecast this evening, looking at the first 12. We're 78 at 6 p.m. Those north winds have been breezy from time to time. I had an extra couple spritzes of hairspray in my hair related to that this evening. We're 67 at 9, 64 degrees as we look toward midnight, down around 60 by 3 o'clock in the morning. And yes, we are mid-50s early tomorrow. Here's the deal, and here's where, as much as I poke and prod Gabe about, oh, we don't need a jacket, here's the deal. When you're 55 and a nearly 10-mile-per-hour wind, it's a little chilly to start the day. So your kids will probably want to have, or at least you'll want to send them out the door at least with what probably resembles some kind of a light jacket for at least the beginning part of tomorrow. As we brought in this cold front, a front that has brought us some clearing conditions. You can see right now in Amory, 75 the temperature. Feels like 75 degrees on those northerly winds. Just a little bit of cloud cover out there as all the sprinkles that we had to begin the day, had yesterday, have all shifted on out of here. Cleveland, showing of course Old Glory there, and definitely whipping around a bit. The camera jostling back and forth there, that stiff north wind, 14 miles per hour there, obviously making the flag stand out pretty straight there, but not a lot of clouds. Again, that will be the story when we look at all of these various sites across the region. Today, though, that 82 is one of our warmer locations. Kosciuszko, a bit more cloud cover. We're 79 degrees, north-northeast wind at about 9 miles per hour, again, down there in Attala County. And good evening to you in Attala County. Appreciate the North Mississippi Storms Chasers there for allowing us to utilize all of those various cameras here as part of their network across the region. Again, a 501c3 that you can donate to and help us out and help them out as we gear towards severe weather season. Again, severe weather preparedness week. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. But nothing on Mississippi Live Weather radar now. Rainfall totals. Yeah, the last 12 hours, not much out there, right? It is still pretty dry as those showers have moved on out of here. Just a couple little sprinkles, about as meaningful as anything has been. Again, on the latest scans here, kind of on the close-up shot, there's nothing to really speak of out there at this point in time. And the clouds are continuing to clear from north to south through the area with rain chances primarily down in the southern part of the state. I'm going to kick this over here to our visible satellite perspective. Again, with the time change getting closer to us, only about a month or so out, we don't have as good a look at this as we had, say, a month or so ago, but you can still see that lingering cloud cover generally moving in from the north to the south across our region, but clearer skies to the north of us is largely the story. As we go back over again to that water vapor, allows us to look at the drier air and how that all kind of figures in here on the wider shot. That's what's followed in behind this front. as all the showers related to that front. Again, there weren't a lot for our area, but they're out there off of the eastern seaboard at this point and time. I'm going to show up, and this is what we kind of looked at the last couple of days here, the dew points, a measure of moisture based on the same scale as the temperature. This represents that drier air. Maybe a longer loop does a better job of kind of showing some of that drier air sort of moving into and through the region. So I'm going to make this a 12-hour loop here. But you can see it's not a giant intrusion, but if I kind of outline the north end versus south end here, right, we'll wait till the loop concludes right about there. There's where your blue is, and see it started about a state away. So that is the drier air coming in from the north, and that will make sure that we have, again, cooler temperatures for the next couple of mornings. If we clear that off, go back over and look at those temperatures specifically. And, you know, it is cooler behind this front, but it's not a dramatic drop, right? I mean, we're 50s, we're 60s for those afternoon temperatures. Yeah, I mean, on the longer loop there, you can see how much cooler it is behind it. And that's one of the signs that this is drier air. When you do get those temperatures down as far late in the overnight hours, again, no blanket of cloud cover out there, and so that helps us out to drop a little more swiftly. So on Futurecast here, you can see those clouds gradually trying to clear from north to south, and that's really kind of the big question as far as tonight is concerned. I love how it kicks out a sprinkle there. That's rain that's not getting the ground, what we call virga, where there are from time to time little bits of rainfall, but they do not get down to the surface. But it's a sign, again, of the drier air kind of moving in from the north, trying to usher some of that clouds down a little bit farther south. 10 p.m. though, still have a little bit of that lingering. And so where it lingers, we hold temperatures slightly warmer. And Gabe will look city by city at some of those low temperatures here in a minute. But the big takeaway is that air is drier. And again, it largely clears a lot of us out by the time our meteorologist Maggie McCauley is getting you ready tomorrow morning on Mississippi Live Weather this morning, starting at 6:30, 7, and 7:30 a.m. Again, those northerly breezes, arguably a wind chill. Technically, wind chill doesn't kick in until you're in the upper 40s. So we're not going to be technically with a wind chill, but there will be a chilly feel to it. So let's look at that hour-by-hour forecast over the next 24 hours. 55 in the morning, we're 61 degrees by 9 a.m. We do head into the upper 70s by 3 p.m. Those north winds do continue to bring in drier air, and that means yet another cool start on the way as we look toward early morning on your Friday as well. Speaking of Friday, we did have down here in downtown Tupelo, the Tupelo Homecoming Parade. I got the chance to go out and kind of talk to some folks there. Homecoming this week, of course, number 2 Tupelo ranked number 2 in the state with a record of 5-1, only lost, of course, our game of the week a couple weeks back to West Point there. A lot of folks in downtown celebrating that and just enjoying the beautiful clear skies that we had, all the schools participating in that. Just a fun community affair. I know a lot of other cities out there have homecoming parades. We have not really gotten to some of those, unfortunately, just because of the way it's timed out. We hope to be able to do maybe more effective job of that in the future, certainly in future years on Mississippi Live Weather, but showing up again with a lot of folks and having a lot of fun today, and we'll try to get some of those selfies probably back online here coming up in just a little bit there. But let's kind of bring things back here for a moment, if we can, to the Room to Room Weather Center. We'll get you ready here in the next 60 seconds, looking ahead toward your forecast that does include, of course, what I think a lot of us are looking for, some cooler mornings. That's as Mississippi Live Weather at 5 continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center right after this.
Tupelo Smiles is a top-notch group. They're very compassionate about what they do. They've given me the smile that I've always wanted. I've been a patient for 15 years and I wouldn't go anywhere else. I just love Tupelo Smiles.
This roof's getting installed with our premium roofing system. Backed by our 50-year warranty. And there's a 0% financing, no payment for 6 months options that this customer utilized. If you're looking for a new roof and you need an affordable option, call Absolute Restoration.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, today was a spectacular forecast, and I did get away with the long sleeves this morning, and this morning wasn't even the coolest temperatures we'll be seeing as this week heads on. Already getting some of that cooler air with 79 degrees in Oxford, winds still coming out of the northwest, around 10 to 15 miles an hour at times, but clearing out that last little bit of moisture, those last clouds in the sky, and leaving us with beautiful blue skies going forward. So if you want to plan something outdoors, this is the time to do it. Latter part of our work week into the weekend, absolutely phenomenal. Down there in Oktibbeha County, 79 degrees and winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Feels like value still around 82 degrees, but I want to say dew points are still slightly higher than where they will be here in the next 24 hours. 84 in Greenwood, winds about 10 miles an hour, and that sunshine beaming behind me and just making for another beautiful forecast once again there in the Greenwood area. So a big thank you to all of you guys across North Mississippi for tuning in, and we hope you guys are enjoying this forecast. Well, as we continue to walk through those evening plans, we know we have midweek services for church tonight. Don't worry, we'll not need the rain gear. This is what we're tracking here on Mississippi Live Weather Radar, and as you may notice, we're currently in clear air mode, which basically means there's nothing in the sky, at least not precipitation-wise, that we need to be worrying about. Yes, a few passing clouds, but overall, nothing too significant. Even those clouds, dense in some spots, but these are more of those cumulus clouds that develop, look like those cotton ball-like structures. Out there towards the west, maybe some more thin clouds kind of blanketing the sky, but that's the extent, like we mentioned, of that cloud cover, and it's just going to be shaping up for an even better forecast heading into our Thursday. Temperature-wise right now, a bit of a step back, 76 in Tupelo, 75 in Amory, and 77 Boonville. Out west, 85 Greenwood, 82 Cleveland, and 80 there in Clarksdale. Of course, that is a step back from where we were yesterday, so yes, it is still warm, but not like what we had this time yesterday, about a 2 to 3 degree temperature change, and those continuing to dip back into tomorrow afternoon's forecast as well. But as Matt was talking about, this is the big forecast change for us going forward, and that's those dew points dropping and at least circulating in some of that drier air. You saw some of those 50s moving into the forecast along Tennessee. Wouldn't be surprised along the Tennessee state line to see some areas talking about mid to upper 50 dew points for tomorrow's forecast and even in that extended forecast. So yes, fall is here. Yes, fall is something we've been waiting on, and we're so excited. That's why whenever we were writing those headlines, we said to everyone, cheer, fall is here. You guys better be cheering out there, because I know a lot of folks in the chat have been asking for it. And as we talked about with Futurecast this evening, trying to bring in a few sprinkles, not expecting that to happen. At most, we're getting those cumulus clouds that do develop, not really a vertical lifting mechanism for these to occur, and that northerly wind really keeping our forecast dry. So moisture, when we say an uphill battle, this is as steep of an uphill as we're talking about, probably the Everest of uphill battles that we're dealing with. So as we get into those evening hours, no rain chances are expected, and that cloud cover will slowly but surely start to filter out of that forecast. And whenever that moisture and that cloud cover kind of moves away, that's when temperatures really start to drop. So not expecting a big time change over those first couple of hours. So by 2 a.m. still sticking around the mid 60s or so. But as we head into that extended forecast in those overnight hours, by the time we reach that 4, 5, and 6 o'clock hour, you see these clouds retreating and heading down there towards the Gulf. That's where we really get that drop in temperature, and that's where we're talking about upper 50s as a realistic possibility heading out the door for our Thursday morning. Long sleeves, I wore them this morning, and I expect a lot more folks to join me tomorrow morning with temperatures like what we'll be experiencing. As you see across the region, 55 in Tupelo, some areas, I mean, mid to even low 50s, 52 Holly Springs, Corinth, even over there towards Senatobia. Still some locations talking about low 60s in Greenville, Belzona, and Aliceville, but we talked about moisture. Where were those clouds still lying as our mornings got started? Well, it was right around south of 82. So folks down there not going to be cooling off as much, but up north where it's clear skies, yes, that's where that more significant drop will take place. So your school bus forecast, that's really where we're pushing the long sleeves, because we want those kids to be as warm as they can be outside. 54, surprisingly, is a little bit on the cooler side, so might need to over-prepare, but I would say more of a sweatshirt forecast, or as Matt was saying, a jacket, because you can at least take that off by the afternoon, and by 78 degrees, that's warm enough to where it'll be a comfortable forecast to just be in shorts and a t-shirt and still get by in that. Yes, we're in a tale of two forecasts. Unfortunately, it's that pattern of the year, so have to dress accordingly. But as we move into our Thursday morning, you can see that we're just dealing with those dry conditions once again. A lot of that northerly wind taking that moisture away and leaving us with those clear skies across North Mississippi. So That means plenty of sunshine for our Thursday. That means just a beautiful forecast once again. We're going to say that over and over again. A little bit of that moisture tries to kick in there from the east, just with what's left along those coastal regions out in the Atlantic. But again, not reaching all the way into North Mississippi and not bringing any rainfall with it. So at most, we could see a few thin clouds along our northwest Alabama counties. But if you are fully in North Mississippi, then you're not going to see a cloud in the sky for your Thursday for the most part, just because of the pattern that we're in and that high pressure dominating our forecast with that air mass right over the top of us. So Thursday afternoon, if you have any plans then, well, hopefully they're outdoors, because that's where we need to be to bring in this great forecast, and even towards that 5 and 6 o'clock hour as well. So like we said, a great forecast, and a great forecast in the sky shapes up for a great temperature forecast on the ground. 77 in New Albany, 79 Amory, 80 still popping up in some locations, Starkville, 83 Macon and Aliceville, and 81 Belzona. So yes, it is still going to be right around our seasonable average. Usually we'd be in the 79 or 80 degree range, and we're seeing that in full force for our Thursday. Around the Tennessee state line though, consider you guys blessed, because we're talking about mid 70s. Oh man, it's just exciting. 8 p.m. on your Thursday, still sticking with those dry conditions. As we talked about, some of that cloud cover trying to surge in there from the east, but no rainfall expected within that. A few of those light showers getting as far west as Tuscaloosa, or really towards Jasper, Alabama, but that's really as far west as they'll head, and we're just going to see some clouds re-enter the forecast. This is also our more ambitious model run, our strike model, so the fact that it's not showing any rainfall for our Thursday afternoon, or Friday afternoon, should I say, that's a good sign going forward. It means that that dry forecast is going to persist, and we are going to see that. Well, of course I say that, and it tries to move into shower. Do not believe this. We're still going to have that dry pattern over the top of us for our Friday. So those football games, again, staying on the drier side, and we'll continue to see that in the forecast. So shaping up for a great time for your Friday night football forecast, your Friday night game of the week. Hey, we'll be in Aberdeen, and it looks like it's going to be a good forecast there as well. Hopefully it's a good forecast on the football field, because we need some great highlights. High temperatures, 79 degrees Amory, 80 in Bruce, 83 Greenwood, and 80 there in Clarksville. So pretty much the same as our Thursday. And that's what it will be, a rinse and repeat forecast type thing over the next couple of days and into our weekend, and that's a good thing whenever it comes to it being a beautiful forecast. We'll take as much of it as we can get. 74 pregame, as you see right here, for our high school game of the week, presented by Casey Lott. 67 by halftime and 64 towards that final snap. I had the jacket last week, and it'll be equipped once again, because temperature is going to be a little bit cooler on that commute home. So yeah, dress accordingly and make sure to stay prepared so you can cheer those teams on from start all the way to finish. So a great time last week over there. Oh my word, why did I forget a game of the week last week?
South Pontotoc.
South Pontotoc. No, it wasn't South Pontotoc. It was
North Pontotoc. I'm sorry. North Pontotoc, New Albany.
That's right.
Sorry.
Yes. And that was a great game there too. Oh my word, a nail biter at the end. Mm-hmm. We have gotten consecutive weeks where it has not been a blowout whatsoever. Tupelo gave us a great game, and then North Pontotoc gave us a great game. So hey, Aberdeen and oh my word, I'm blanking on everything tonight.
Choctaw County.
Choctaw County, my word.
Hold on. I'll just finish this move.
Take over. The brain's not working today.
You got a baby brain already, and that's not fair. You got to live quicker though.
Oh, you want?
I'll finish it off here. Thank you. I mean, got to give the man a little break. He does a lot more work than I think a lot of folks realize there. But yeah, forecast for your SEC football games, honestly, looking pretty nice as well. Again, Alabama and Missouri. I can say
that's why you wanted to take over right now.
Yeah, exactly. As a Kansas fan, we never have a great taste in our mouth for misery. So, roll Tide. Not very often that I'll throw out anything like that, but roll Tide, roll.
Oh man.
Beat the pants off them. Anyway, forecast looking good for that one. Dry as well for Washington State, Ole Miss there again in Oxford this week. Carl Hogan, again, appreciate the good folks at Carl Hogan for sponsoring our, SEC football forecast here and being just such a great partner for us so far. I look forward to hopefully partnering with them for a long time. 74 first play of that one. We're 80 by halftime and 83 by the conclusion. Now listen, that means at least initially in the morning, not as cool as it's been the last couple of days, but I mean, you'll need the jacket. But that 83 isn't going to be particularly cool in the afternoon as well. Make sure to hydrate because, again, we're still kind of on this kind of warmer end of the spectrum still. But yeah, you can see there, Saturday morning will show 52 for that low temperature there. We're 80 degrees by Saturday afternoon, so definitely warming things up a lot more as we go toward the latter part of that day. Some spots may be a little bit warmer than that. Sunday, we're 82, again, 53 that low. And you know what this means, Gabe? I think it's not inconceivable. We could have some 40s out there for a couple of spots for low temperatures this week. I mean, I think Corinth, I think up close to northern Tippah County around Walnut, that's definitely a reasonable number. Maybe up there around Burnsville as well to have some upper 40s. But then we'll warm things back up a bit more in the next week. Notice what we don't do. Look at these low temperatures. We don't have any of those 70s on there. So we're not talking a lot about moisture moving back in with that. So it's just kind of a sign that while we definitely transition, generally speaking, back toward a warmer forecast, it's not quite as humid as we were this time around, which is a good sign because obviously we're trying to keep severe weather season away as absolutely long as possible. But of course, that's why we're getting ready for it now, right, Gabe?
This is the perfect week to have severe weather preparedness week because it keeps folks informed while also not keeping them alarmed at any severe weather happening. Again, we're in a very calm pattern, but this is the time to prepare as those seasons start to shift and we head into that fall season where, things start changing, fronts start moving in place, and then you can get a few rogue severe storms or maybe even a few tornado warnings. Definitely a realistic possibility this time of year. Not exactly expected like the spring, but definitely a possibility. And so one of the things that we'll be talking about heading into really our 6 o'clock broadcast will be tornado safety, not just for homes, but also for apartments, for mobile homes. We're talking tornado statistics. And so all of that coming up tonight at 6 and keeping you guys informed on what to expect in that extended forecast. So excited to keep you guys informed, excited to keep you guys safe. And although it's severe weather preparedness week, it's really severe weather safety week. We want to keep you guys safe whenever those storms do strike. And of course, it's the best way to do so, doing so on a quiet week. So Matt, excited to get that going tonight at 6 o'clock, and all the more reason for folks to stay tuned for the rest of our broadcast this evening.
Absolutely. Appreciate everyone for doing that and supporting us here. Of course, our next broadcast, you kind of alluded to this a second ago there, coming up at that'd be, 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. Hey, I'm telling you, that green wall takes your brain away from you.
It does, and I clicked off of it over there. There's a button. Hey, there's a button on that Stream Deck right there. A green button that says vMix Advanced. See if that works. This is what. Look
Let's
at that.
Go.
I programmed that while you're over here, not slamming Missouri like you're supposed to. But yeah, hey, listen. For those of you that are supporting us here at Mississippi Live, just thank you so much. We know I have a ton of viewers that tend to watch all of this on the app. That's hugely important. Advertisers looking for that kind of thing. And of course, we're advertiser supported, but we're ultimately viewer powered. So thank you guys so much for all of you that downloaded the iOS and Android app. I do want to know this. Somebody messaged me a little bit ago saying they're having some crashes. I'm trying to figure out if that is on the iOS app, which we had an update last week, which fixed some things behind the scenes that frankly are going to save us a ton of money, thankfully. But if it's causing some crashes, we need to roll that back. So let us know if you're having some crash issues on either of these there. Just make sure we know what version of phone you have, what version of the app you have, and obviously if it's iOS or Android. And we always stream live at YouTube as well, that link at msliveweather.com. Our next live broadcast coming up, of course, at 6 p.m. tonight. See, there it is, black and white, or I guess blue and white, here from the Room to Room Weather Center. And just you will be talking about more on severe weather, tornado safety. Did you end up hearing those tornado sirens today with the statewide drill? Well, we want to know that. Let us know in the comments, and we'll be talking about how to find, of course, thinking ahead toward your safe place. All that as Mississippi Live Weather at 6 arrives here from the Room to Room Weather Center in about a little less than 40 minutes or so. We'll see you then.
Experience unmatched comfort with Heirloom, the mattress of choice for true luxury. During the VIP sale at Room to Room, enjoy an extra 10% off customer favorite Heirloom. Don't miss this exclusive opportunity at Room to Room Tupelo.